Hello everybody, welcome back to the 88 Eagles Den, where I have 88 eagles. They're all figurines like the one you see here, and I asked them all their name and message. Today we're on number 33, Teesha, and her message is about being wild. And you can see her here. I'm just going to show you. That's the side and the front of her. In the back. Teesha. I'm going to put her back here. So, Teesha, when I asked her, what do you mean wild? Because I don't know if you know the backstory, but I have 88 eagles, and the 88 eagles grow eagle blossoms. So the story is that the 88 eagles, they fly high above the bullshit, way like really high, and they drop magic flower seeds on the ground, on the garden, the soil, to grow flowers, to grow eagle blossoms. And when you're around the garden, which is called the Joyful Magic Garden, when you're around that garden, you feel a lot of love. There's no words to describe it. You just feel a lot of love from these eagle blossoms, from that environment. So Teesha, when she told me that the word basically she wants me to talk about is wild, and the first thing I thought about was wild flowers, because in my garden I don't grow flowers in a row. I don't grow like, red, 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 yellow, 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 pink, pink, pink. I just grow whatever I feel. Whatever is in my heart, that's what I put there. So it could be red, yellow, pink, blue, yellow, whatever. Like it's not structured. It's not like in the army. It's not a tailored garden. It's a wild garden. It's whatever I feel. It's the flowers talking to me, telling me, hey, I want to be there, or I want to be over there. So I just put the flowers where I feel intuitively where the flower wants to go. And when I buy flowers, I do the same thing. I just hear the flower say, pick me. And I go, okay. I don't even argue about it. I just, okay, this plant obviously wants to come home with me, so let's go. I don't really think too much about it. It's very intuitive. So when she told me talk about wild, I just right away thought about the garden that I have, where everything is just planted intuitively. It's not, the only thing that I've ever looked at was, does the plants want low light or do they want high light? If they want highlight, then I'll put them in the area where there's a lot of sun. If they want low light, then I'll put them in the area where there's not so much sun. That's all I do. I don't really look at anything else other than just by intuitively. And they grow, they blossom, they're beautiful. I mean, it's just incredible. It's just like it's really magical, beautiful, and it's a lot of love, and it's because it's wild. There's no, like I say, it's not structured. It's not a tailored garden where everything has to be, all the reds go here, all the yellows go there in a uniform area. It's just very playful. So Teesha she reminded me of that, but also she reminded me of wild flowers, specifically wild flowers, not the ones that I plant, but the ones that are in the wild. How they don't need human care. Sorry, my cat's trying to jump in front. He tends to do that when I'm talking here on a video. He wants to get in on the action. I'm trying to send him a message that he has to exit out the other side. Sorry, I digress. So, Teesha was saying about wildflowers actually in the wild. They don't need any human interaction, and they're really great in the environment. They interact with the bees, the birds. It's a biodiversity. Like they're all working together, and that's being wild. And eagles, how they're wild is that they adapt to their environment. They're easily adaptable to their environment, and they're also free. They're able to fly wherever they want to fly. They're not confined to one space. They have their nest, but they can fly wherever they want to fly. They have the freedom to do that. And they always go back to their nest. They have that nest there, but they have the freedom to do that. So, and then I was asking Teesha, well, what are you saying? Like, what is it that you're really saying about wild? This word wild you gave me, besides the garden and you be able to fly anywhere you want, and you have like eagles that have these strong muscles in their wings. And she told me about that too, that they have really strong muscles in their wings. So the strength in their wings allows them to soar for long periods of time. And it also helps them to take off and to dive into the water and to soar higher. So their muscles in their wings really allow them to have the freedom to maintain the length of time they're in the air flying. So there's all these, I guess what she's trying to tell me is these elements that allow her freedom to fly and allow her to be wild, and to maybe think about what does it mean to be wild? Like, what are the different things that I feel, or as a human, to be wild? And I guess what she's really trying to get us to understand is authenticity, about listening to your intuition and strengthening that muscle, your body, so you're able to be wild. Exercising, doing all your exercises, walking and doing like a lot of workouts. You don't have to go to the gym to exercise. You can dance, you can do all kinds of things, but she's saying like equip yourself to have that wild, I was gonna say wild side, but that's not what she means about just being wild, being able to say, I'm being myself today. I'm being myself today. But being able to adapt to your environment, and know that, by you taking care of yourself, you're able to have that wildness about you. Be able to be like a wildflower and know that when you're tuned into your environment, everything you need is there. Like wildflower doesn't rely on human care. So what that translates to me is that we don't need to have approval for things that we feel authentically that we're wanting to do. Sorry, if my cat jumps down here, he's going to knock this eagle off. It's like, I have my fish here, I have my cat. We're in a forest here. So what Teesha was saying is, how I'm translating that is, our wildness is our authenticity. That we don't need to listen, or we don't need someone's approval of ourselves, because we are wild. We are expressive. We are able to listen to our own authenticity, our own counsel of when to go left and when to go right, when to stay put, don't move at all, just chill out for a while. There's no need to always be moving. Sometimes the best movement is just not moving at all. But understanding that that's wild. Like, wow, man, you are wild. Why? Even when I say that, like, why do you say it like that? Because you're just like doing whatever you want. Well, there's a thing about doing whatever you want and having integrity, having love in your heart. You know, if you're doing things with love in your heart and having integrity and following your heart, then yeah, that's pretty groovy gravy to be able to be that wild and not be confined by somebody telling you to drop down and give me 10, drop down and give me 100. But why? Because if you want to eat today, you got to drop down and give me 100. And you're like sweating. You're like, oh my God, I can't do 100 sit-ups. You know, you want to eat. Like, this whole controlling is what I'm trying to get to. Is that there's a lot of controlling going on when you're in fear. And it's like you're being terrorized by fear. And it's not good. It's not good because you just freeze up completely, and it's not healthy. Everything freezes up. Your heart, it's like you go through hypertension. Everything locks up. Everything just locks up, and you can't even find solutions. You're not creative. So what Teesha's saying is, being wild is saying yes to your yes. It's saying yes to your yes. When you feel inspired, to say yes to your inspiration. When you feel your intuition saying, go left, you go left. Not asking your friends, well, you know, I had this feeling today to go over here. What would you do? And they may say, yes, do this or don't do that. But at the end of the day, you're gonna do what you want to do anyways. Because when it comes right down to it, you're just looking for someone to agree with you. If you phoned up your friend and you said, hey, I want to go to the beach, or I want to go, I don't know, I want to go and work, or I want to go to Africa, and your friend says, Africa? Why do you want to go to Africa? And you start thinking, well, because I had this feeling that I want to go to Africa. And they go, why do you want to go there? And you start doubting yourself because they would never go to Africa. So now you're thinking, well, maybe it's wrong for me to go to Africa. And then, you know, maybe Africa was the place that your heart was calling you to go. But now you lost out on that because you're listening to somebody who never go to Africa. But you just have this thought to go to Africa. I mean, who's to say what's wrong and what's right? I mean, if that's what you feel to do, then you should follow that and go do that. If that's how you're being driven by that, you know? You're not hurting anybody. It's some passion, you know, or whatever. But my point is that being wild is being able to wildly be creative and wildly be like wild, like just listen to your intuition and go there. Like wake up every morning and say, yeah, I'm saying yes to my yes. I'm doing this. Like I feel inspired. I feel like I just feel maybe there's even no explanation. You just feel the feel, and that's all you have is just a feel. But that feel is really, that's all you need. and then you can figure out after. But the fact is that being wild is having these ideas, this imagination, and just thinking beyond the analytical mind, thinking beyond the linear. And these are how things are invented. These are how new things are invented all the time, because they just go there. They just think of the wow, like it's wild. So Teesha is saying, open your wings and fly. Be wild. Don't sit with your wings. Don't sit with your wings closed. When you wake up in the morning, say, look around you and say, okay, just open your wings and just feel them. Just feel your body. Feel the nature. Feel the authenticity just running through your blood. Sorry. I get distracted. My cat is there and he's just, you know, my cat and I, we're like, you know, it's my gangster cat. So I when he's looking around at something, I look at him like, are you trying to tell me something? What's going on? So, wake up in the morning and feel the wildness of yourself. You know, wear that dress, wear those jeans, wear that top, wear that suit. Do your hair the way that you want to do your hair, you know, or whatever that is. Like, just be buck wild. It's just like, you know, say yes to your yes. That's really what they're saying, is fly your wings. Open your wings and fly. Be that flower, that wild flower in the garden, and plant yourself there, because why not? If the environment is right, you adapt to the environment. You have the sun. You have everything that you need. All the elements that are there for you. Then be that. Be that. It's like when you go to like Wall Street or a business, everybody takes lunch at 12 o'clock. It's like you go to school, you have lunch at 12 o'clock. You wear your suit at work, you leave the school, then you go to a job, and you go there, you wear your suit, and then you have lunch at 12 o'clock. But, you know, underneath that suit is this guy that is in a rock band. You know, like, that suit is not him at all. He just wears that as a persona. But could you imagine if, you know, if these people walked into work, they look nice, they still look dressed up, but they're not all wearing a suit. You know, like, everybody's wearing the same suit, trying to, like, pretend that, you know, underneath that suit is not the same person that he's portraying. It's like the guy that he does art at home, or this guy he in a rock band, or this guy loves to cook. You know, all these different things, these personalities, but they all show up every day looking exactly the same. And they're trying to impress each other by wearing that suit. You know, it's just kind of like, I don't know, I see that sometimes and I think, what's underneath that suit? Like, who are you really? And if I told, you know, a guy like that, I say, what would you feel like right now if you were like really wild? And he may say, man, I might just rip off this suit and put on my leather jacket, and I'd be on stage playing my guitar, because you know, I pretend I feel like I'm Elvis. It's like, there you are. That's cool. I knew you were in there somewhere. Because all this is just like like, it's not who they are. It's what they're told to look like every day when they show up. It's not really who they are. That's why, I don't know, I'm just gonna say it, like, when you go to the bar and you see accountants there, they're the ones that get the most drunk because they've been so wound up. As soon as they get some alcohol in them, boof, they get buck wild. And not in a good way. I mean, alcoholic way. Because they've been so tightly wound. They haven't been able to be themselves. They've been not themselves all day for 8 hours. They're just not themselves. They're not able to express themselves, their authentic self. So when they get out, when school's out, they get like, wow. They get not a good wild. I'm talking like an unhealthy wild. So what she's saying is tap into the wildness of who you are. Tap into your heart. Tap into that part of you that is expressive, that is alive, that is alive. Like, you're alive right now, and you have feelings, emotions, thoughts, and all that stuff that comes with this package. But there's one thing that's inside of you that's been in there since the day you've been born. And that's you. All the other stuff, that just comes with this, that just comes with the package. Feelings, emotions, thoughts, and all that. 1 minute you're this way, 1 minute you're that way. I mean, thoughts, feelings, they can change on a dime. You can change your mood very easily. But who you are, that you get to discover. You discover that as you're in your body, as you grow, from the time you were born, every day you're discovering more things about yourself. Like, oh wow, okay, I didn't know I liked that, and that really bothered me. And the cool thing is if you ask yourself what bothered me about that, and then when you get honest with yourself, you can answer those questions of what bothered you, why did that bother me, and then you can learn from those things that bother you. You learn about yourself by asking yourself, why did it bother you? And a lot of times when we get, like, in a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whatever, we get mad at that person. But it's not that person you're really mad at. You're mad at the person that is not there. You know, that person that doesn't do those things, that's the person you're mad at. You're not mad at the person who's making you upset. You're mad at the person who's not there. Like, that version of this person that you're mad at the person that you really want to be there. You're mad at that person, the person that's not there. Because you're getting mad at this person, you're not mad at them. You're mad at the person that's not there. So, being wild is unapologetically trusting yourself and honoring yourself and flying your wings like you're in this, you're just in your nest, you're human, but the idea is that you honor your spirit that's in you that wants to fly, is what I'm saying. That wildness about you, that unapologetic, that juiciness that you feel that wants to fly. It's been in you since day one. And the more you get older, the more experiences that you have, you learn by contrast those things that you don't like and you do like. And you really discover more about yourself on this voyage. You learn a lot about yourself if you allow yourself to ask the questions. Why did that hurt me? Why did I feel like that? Why did I respond like that? Why did I react like that? That didn't feel good. That didn't feel good to me, how I responded. Why did I do that? What was really going on in my mind? Because sometimes we react in ways that that wasn't really you. That was just the moment. And, why was that? And now you go back and you ask yourself why, and okay, it was because of that. And then you have a relationship with yourself. Okay, I know I'm not gonna do that anymore. Become more aware of your triggers and how to heal them and how to love yourself and reparent yourself so you're not doing things, feeling guilty for things that are in alignment with you. Because sometimes when we take action on things that are in alignment, that is our truth, we have this guilt sometimes of listening to our heart. And that, all that stuff, that goes away once you feel that the more wild you are, the more in tune to nature you are, the more in tune. What I mean by tuned to nature is being tuned into yourself, the part of you that never changes. Since you were a little baby, there's a frequency that's in you, that's yours, that's you. And that part of you has been helping you learn about itself. It's like a knife doesn't know that it's a knife. A fork doesn't know that it's a fork. It doesn't know itself. Like we would know what we look like if someone didn't invent mirrors. Like we're learning about ourselves by our relationships, the reflections that we have with everybody. We're learning about ourselves through these relationships. They're just reflecting back to us who we are. And if we don't like something, well, guess what? We can have that conversation with ourselves and ask, why did I attract that into my life? Like, what am I to learn about this? And if you sit with that and be patient, the answers will come. And sometimes you don't want to hear the answer, but it's you. It's you helping yourself. It's you helping you learn about you. So that way you can really be your authentic self with integrity and being honest with yourself and lining up with the things that are in alignment with you, that feel right to you. And not right to you with things that are your past, things that, I had this thought today about being in alignment, about habits. Sometimes things feel right to us only because we're so used to doing it. And it's not right for us, like smoking. Or, like say somebody, say you're thinking, I want to eat better. And you saw that avocados are good for you, but you don't really like to eat. I mean, you're not an avocado eater. But you know that if you don't start eating better, your health is going to take a toll. It's not good. Like you have to start paying attention to the foods you eat. And, you got to start somewhere. And that means consciously having foods around you that you like to eat. But you're just in a habit of eating the same old. You've been eating the same old for so long. It's like, but the problem is, that's why you are where you are, because you've been eating the same old for so long that you had to make a change to introduce new foods into your diet so you can be healthy. Otherwise, you're just gonna, but breaking that habit sometimes can be difficult because you're so used to doing that same old eating, same old things. So you consciously have to decide, okay, today I'm going to eat that avocado. I'm going to start eating foods that I like, and then begin a new habit. And then that habit is going to be just like become a new habit. You won't even think about it anymore. But you got to start it, and then it'll just become normal for you. But the beginning can be a little bit challenging. So this goes back to the word being wild. Be wild. Like, eat more healthy food. Like, don't be so linear and stuck on the old ways of doing things. Be wild. Go get that food that's healthy for you and make a nice meal. Go out there and get all the ingredients. Make a nice food in the kitchen. Whip something up. and have fun cooking it up. The room will smell nice. Get a candle or whatever. Put some music on. Have a little food party. Even if you're by yourself, put some music on. You know, have a wild dinner party. You know, break out the fine china. Wear something nice. Like that's like just breaking out of the norm. Like the status quo. You know, just doing that. Be authentic. You know, just stop doing the same things over and over and over again. Like have a little variety in your life. Do something. Just drive home a different route today. You know, go to a different coffee shop. Something different. Be wild. Do something different today. Something that you've been thinking about doing, but you're like, do it today. Do that thing and be wild. Just do it. You're going to feel exhilarated. You're going to feel like, man, I did that. Yeah, you did that and it felt great. So just do that thing because it's going to help you evolve. It's going to help you evolve into that person that you know it's in there. That little girl, that little boy, that spirit in you that has been calling you for so long, but you've been afraid to listen. That is in you. It's always been in you, and it's never going to go away. It's a thing that happens to you when you die, when you say to yourself, oh, I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have did this. It's that. That thing is calling you now to do that wild thing. So it's a really important, Teesha saying, look at me, I'm an eagle, I fly, I do all this stuff, I practice flying, my wings are strong. You know, she keeps her body in good, healthy condition so she can be the wild one, so she can fly around. And the flowers, the wild ones, they are in communication with nature. They have the birds, the bees, and all these things around them. They're always in connection with the environment around them. They have a support system. And us being humans, we're part of nature too. Just because we have two legs and two arms, we're part of nature. We need sun, we need food, we need the water. You know, we're going 6 feet under too. You know what I mean? Like we're part of nature. We're connected. We're all connected. Energy is energy no matter what it is. It's all energy. No matter if it's a tree, a bird, a fly, a cat, an eagle, a garden. You know, it's all energy. So to get into that state of being while you're listening to your heart, the inner child, that wild side will come out, and you're gonna experience something that you probably never experienced before, and that's yourself. So think about being a little wild and crazy this week. That's a message from Teesha. I look forward to another video on 34, but for now, think about Teesha today. Just be your authentic self. And don't forget to fly higher than that. Bye for now.